made you want to come to the Shrine Game more than the Senior Bowl? Did you have an invite to Mobile?
Yeah, I had an invite to Mobile. I think just because I was already out here. I've been out here since our last bowl game, training and stuff out here. Facilities literally like 5 minutes away from the hotel, so I might as well come here and do the interviews. Get experience and stuff.
Not
like
fly.
That. Yeah, for sure.
I know it's still kind of early on in the process, but in these interviews, what are some of the feedback that you've gotten in terms of how you can improve your game?
Not necessarily feedback, but it's they ask me like, what do you think like the negatives of my game is? They're not focused on like how good of a player you are. They're focused on like what you can improve on, things like that.
And what do you think you can improve?
I think I can improve my feet, hand placement, pad level, all the small details like that.
Who are some of the teams that you've talked to? The Dallas Cowboys had any contact with you yet?
Yeah, I've talked to the Dallas Cowboys. Pretty much, I've talked to every 32 teams for sure. So, yeah.
The past 2 years, you've gotten to play for defensive coordinators that have levels of NFL experience with Jesse and Wink, right?
Yep.
So how has that experience helped you maybe prepare for a week like this and the combine coming up?
They definitely prepared me to be more business-like, take care of my business, and, prepare me with film study and, play art and stuff like that. So, it's kind of all the same lingo from college to NFL, what they taught me. So, it's been a pretty smooth transition, just got to study it for real.
Yeah.
And how does it feel to have bragging rights over the national champions?
Feels pretty good. It feels pretty good, just knowing that we beat them, in the back of their head, they're still thinking about us, but we don't have to talk about it. Yeah.
And besides football, what is something that, do you like to bake? Do you like to, play video games? What is something that, learn about you?
Yeah, I think I'm outdoorsman for sure. Go outside with my dog, fish, hunt, ride four-wheelers, things like that, I just like my solitude time for sure.
Hey, so you said you talked to a lot of teams. Is the Packers on that list?
Yes, sir. I just talked to them today.
Nice.
Yes,
so what do you think about the Packers?
I like them. It's cold up there.
Yep.
Green Bay, you know how it is.
Michigan, though.
Yeah. I've been in the cold all my life, so it really doesn't bother me. But they're definitely cool people. I like them for sure.
Nice. You feel like you'd be a good fit in that system?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely need a nose.
Kenneth, what is one thing fans would be surprised to know about you?
I'm a quiet type of dude, but I'm very outgoing and talking. I don't mind talking. I like outdoors a lot, fishing and hunting and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So if you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
Fishing for sure.
Yeah, just fishing as your job, as your trade?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Love it. Do you like camo?
Yeah, kind of.
Now you seem like a pretty nice guy. Mm-hmm. So how do you turn it up when you get out there? Because I've watched you play, I've seen you crush people. So how do you get yourself from here all the way up to there where you need to be?
I don't think it's a switch, I think it's just a mentality you have to have, In the back of my head, I know I'm a dog, but, I got to go out there and prove it. And me personally, I like proving people wrong. So, I think that's what fuels me for sure.
What's your relationship like with Mason Graham, the other Michigan defensive tackle, obviously also going through this draft process? Like, have you guys been in still constant communication about what you guys are going through?
Oh, yeah. We pretty much talk close to every week, how our experience, our different experiences, stuff like that, or like guys we're training with. So, that's my brother for life. So we're always going to talk, be cool, no matter where we're at or what we're doing.
In a defensive tackle class that has guys like Mason and yourself, and it's kind of deep, where do you think you separate yourself from the rest of the pack in terms of, what do you feel you do better than anybody else in this class?
I think just my ability to move. I'm a big guy. Most people think I'm just all power, but that's when I catch them off guard with the speed and stuff like that. So I think that's one of my pluses for sure.
You mentioned the Cowboys were one of the teams that talked to you. What was that conversation like? Who did you talk to? What do you make of that organization?
I talked to some of the scouts. I think their GM was here. It was just, the basic stuff, your background, just getting to know me. And, they did like a little play art. I crushed it because, I'm very smart in film. But, simple.
You're walking out the tunnel. What is your why? What drives you every day?
My family and my community for sure, because a lot of people don't make it out from where I'm from. So, just, you know, having the younger guys from back home watching me, you know, looking up to me in everything I do for sure.
Having been one of those younger guys, what is the advice you think your younger self would give you now that you're in this position, this close to the NFL?
I think take everything seriously for sure. You know, don't take a day off. Don't think nobody's chasing your dreams because, you know, everybody's working. So you got to work on your own time and, you know, just be a dog.
Kenneth, you mentioned your movement ability. I was reading that you used to play right field. What was a dude like you doing in the outfield on the baseball field?
I mean, just making plays, you know. That's what I like to do, make plays. So whatever position I can play, I like to make plays and have fun for sure.
Michigan has kind of moved you around like 0 to 3 tech anywhere in there. What's your favorite one and why, kind of of those positions?
I like the one tech for sure. I like taking on double teams, the physical nature of it, you know, keeping my linebackers free. I'm like a team type of guy, so whenever those guys can eat, I can eat. Whenever I can eat, those guys can eat. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, boss.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Such a cool dude.